Welcome to another edition. I got you this time. You see, you forgot.
No, I was going to do it.
But it's been a long time I haven't done it. So welcome to another edition of Voyeur AMA. I am your co-host Enrique Barreto, and with me I have the one and only Dave Styles. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. I'll be right back.
All right, sounds good. Well, I have lost count on how many episodes we've done. Look, Old Van Winkle. Everything is actually coming up from beer and everything. But what I can tell you is that we continue to be committed to our vision. We continue to be committed to our platform. There's a lot of great updates that continue to actually come in. Just like anything else, this is a startup. A startup has a vision, a roadmap, and that's why we are here to dissect for sure. What do you think, Dave?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm I'm glad to be here with everybody. Today's AMA. I want to give some updates about the platform. I know there was a lot of questions from the Discord side. Some of those questions, I'm going to be honest with you, people, I can't answer today. And it's not that I don't want to answer them. I want to share the good news. I just contractually can't. When you go into a funding round, there's this confidentiality period that comes along with it, and we're in that period. And so, I know people want to know details and what and how much and things along those lines. Just can't share it with you. All I can tell you is that we are in a great position. We are raising capital from a group of investors across different investors, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It'll close this month, and it's good for Voyeur. One of the things, what the heck just happened to my video? It was Enrique.
No, I'm here. Man. I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here. I'm here.
I saw the thing pop up. I was like, did I just put
Well, you
myself?
start saying like I can't say anything. Well, I'm out.
So yeah, I mean, I'm happy to take general questions about it, but I can't give specifics just yet. So once the round is closed, filed, and things along those lines, we will have the ability to share some information. I, again, people are pushing on me like, well, what's this mean? How much is it? What are we doing with it? How are you spending it? All that kind of stuff will flush out. Obviously, we've always been completely transparent with everybody as much as we can, right? And I am always going to do that until the point where I can't. NDAs are one of those things that I have to honor where we can. Things that happen in an executive session in the board meeting, happen in an executive session for a reason. I can't share that information. Things along those lines. But outside of that, unless it's going to impact our competitive advantage, we're happy to share details. So all you really need to know, I guess, what people should focus on is three things. One is Voyeur is alive, well, growing, and I'll share some statistics here today. We got some great numbers. I mean, honestly, I went back through and looked at it last night to pull together some statistics. One of our dear friends and advisors said, what you guys are missing in the AMA is, give the people, some numbers. How is the platform growing? How is it, succeeding? So I'm going to do that today. I'm going to give you those numbers. Secondly, we're going to give you an update on kind of where the new feature sets are at. And then I want to tell you where we're kind of going in the new year, right? So we'll start with the growth, right? So I was it's kind of interesting to look at it, right? We've actually added in the past month 100 more actually. Just do my math real quick. We've added 248 people in the last 3 weeks or in this current month, or from last month, I should say. So a month period. So from 11/4 through 12/5, right? So about 200 people a month being added. That actually is growing month over month. So we're really going into our third month here, being publicly launched and live, and that kind of linear growth is good. Now we need to start getting it on an exponential curve, but a linear growth of at least doubling month over month is not bad. Um, Active users, this is where we actually are getting some of that linear curve, right? We've actually had the most active users ever this past 7 days. We had on average 106 people that had touched the platform. Now, granted, some of those are the new people who just registered, but they were at least logged in again. So, more than once, and that's great. And our active creators, we really are seeing more and more people take off. Obviously, we have a few, I'll call them stalwarts, who just happen to be, like the torchbearers for Voyeur right now. Daniel Craig Harris being one of them. But 1111 really jumped in and is kicking off. And it's interesting too because at the same time, when we look at revenue earned, we've got 6, 7, 8, 9. We've got 10, 11, almost 20 creators that have earned over, 250 million Voyeur in the past month. So that's a lot of tipping, right? And I think people see that the tipping is definitely one of those things that's happening more and more, and it's just kind of becoming organic. I'll also will share that we are seeing a great linear expansion in the number of people who are using the tagging capability. Our tags have grown by almost 1,000 new categories tagged, and that activity is being picked up by other creators. So I know when a couple of tags get created, people see it and they're like, "Oh, I want to use that." And some people are using it just because they think they have to. They have the Instagram tagging model in their head where you have to use the tags that are trending. But again, use tags for aggregation of views. And again, we don't have an algorithm that's going to punish you or will reward you for how many tags you use. You don't need that many pieces of flair here. But tag what you think is appropriate for the content, and that'll get it surfaced to people who are looking at that. Okay, so that said, I'm going to give a couple of updates on where we're going with feature set stuff. For one, we will be having live video code merged in this week into the code base. So that live video code is going to go into our staging server. We're going to test the heck out of it. We're going to invite some users that want to take a test and do it, and then also some users who want to experience it for the first time, and give them the ability to get on that system. When we're comfortable with it, we're going to try to take probably 10, 14 days, maybe 2 weeks. If everything's fine, they're full colors, then we're going to merge that into the code base on the production server. And then we'll be off and running with live video, right? And remember again, this version of live video is one to many, right? So I hit broadcast, I go live, my audience can come see me, they can tip me, they can communicate with me. There's chat capability back and forth. So traditional comparison to other social media platforms, go live feature. We are working on one-to-one video as well. One-to-one video will be a little bit later, most likely into next year, but that will close loop the ability for you to have that interaction where you see your fan sees you, and you both have the ability to communicate and then obviously engage in commerce. So that piece is there. The other thing that's big, and Enrique and I were just both blown away when we saw the final deliverable. is the not safe for work filtering.
Yep.
Now, this is big for us because we obviously have creators of all types on the platform. Not every creator wants to see other kind of creators' content. Some content that's in adult nature they never want to see. So having the ability to filter that out and being able to do it in a way that's programmatic, but also almost bulletproof, is very important to us. So we have not safe for work filtering coming in. Creators have the first crack at making sure that they tag their adult content as adult. However, if they forget to do it, we've built into the system artificial intelligence and some machine learning processing that will catch that, and then still flag it. And obviously, it's that way because we need to protect, against people who accidentally didn't tag or people who just didn't want to tag and still put a content up that would be of too much adult nature. But it looks great. The workflow is solid. We're hoping to push that in this week. So we'll stay tuned.
As part of the show, I almost early this morning I was looking at some of the pictures of it. Right, I was like, oh, it'd be cool if I could share it, but when I started reviewing stuff, I can't because
It's adult
we tested it
content.
with adult content. So right,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
and one of the things that Dave, that I probably would like for you to kind of talk a little bit about it without tipping the hat too much is, so yeah, one thing is to actually classify, having a person like myself saying this content that I'm about to create is not safe for work, or this post that I'm about to create or put in is not safe for work. Which maybe our audience sometimes understand, maybe they don't understand, right? We talked about the acronym, not safe for work.
Yep.
But to me, it was also the additional things things that we are doing to cross-pollinate, that if someone decides to post something that it should be classified not safe for work, what are some of the metrics that we're doing? So what can you share about that?
Yeah, I mean, we're obviously looking at video content here and written text, right? I should say picture content. Video is something, it's a little harder, but we are still going to look at video in a static form. Live video, we won't be able to do this technology on. So live video, we're going to have to trust that the creator is tagging that feed, whether or not they're going to be doing any kind of not safe for work content, whatever that form of not safe for work content may be.
Mm-hmm.
But for processing it, it's a well-known art with a little bit of science. But while the solutions are open source, training the model is where it gets important. And having the right training set and training data is key. Because if you don't train it right, then it's garbage in, garbage out. So we've spent a lot of time there. Obviously, you're going to validate it. So this is another one of those areas where we're going to bring it in and then give it to creators that we think will help us on both sides, especially creators who may have something that falls in the not safe for work category, and then also the post content that would be just fine, right? So being able to make sure that their content is properly categorized and filtered both ways. The questions that are in the queue, I'm seeing them. We're going to address them here in a second. So don't think I'm not getting to your question. If you asked a question, we've got it. We're going to get to them. And so that's key, right? Because it's also an enabler. As we've talked before, we've got a partnership with one of the larger adult creator content producers in the world. And for them to be able to allow us to load in their content on Voyeur, which will not only be a rich repository of content, but also start driving their fan base and people who want to see that kind of content to the platform. We had to give them the ability to make sure that only those people who want to see it are the people who are over the age of 18 or 21, or wherever you're at in age of majority in your country of residence, would be allowed to see it. So, this key functionality is enabling us to be able to do that. We had meetings with them last week about loading in their content. So you'll quickly start seeing a slew of new profiles that are going to represent, let's just call them studios in their content, if you're obviously opted in to see not safe for work content. Again, and if you're not, then you'll never see it. Right? Because again, Voyeur's for everybody. If you want to see it, it'll be on Voyeur. If you don't want to see it, it'll be on Voyeur. Right. Um, that said, we are moving forward beyond kind of those last two features, which round out our initial, I guess I'll call it 1.0 deliverable, right? So we're moving quickly into the phase of what's next, right? And what's next for us is really threefold. The first is going to be a native app, right? We are building a native app. We did go out and contract and have an app built. I think I've shared the update last week, but the app that came back was a web wrapped app or a WebView app. And while it technically is an app, there was some question whether or not we'd make it to the Apple store because it really didn't substantially do much other than wrap a web page. And two, the user experience is still kind of disjointed. With a native app being built by the development team that built Voyeur with us, we'll be able to take and move some of the pages that you experience today from being, HTML5 and React front end type of code to native, iOS and Android app code, right? So things like uploading video, uploading pictures, or even snapping a picture instead of having to use the camera app inside of the native operating system. Be able to do it in app and then have filters and be able to do treatments and have things that just go immediately up to Voyeur is going to be key. So we're having that kind of stuff come in. It'll also definitely help with the live video experience. So our goal with that is to really get it done in the next 2 to 3 months and then get it published. So, we're looking at 3 to 4 months before those native apps are done. But we are working on that. The piece beyond that is we really are looking at kind of what's the next milestone or keystone feature we want to bring in. And we've kind of really settled on bringing in the concept of rooms, or we've been calling views, into Voyeur. And this would be an analog to Clubhouse or Twitter Spaces, where you have an audio stage, a video stage, and people can come in and interact on that topic with somebody who is kind of the MC or the chair of that view room for that period of time, and allowing that to be the next kind of feature. Tangent to that, because we have all the pieces to go along with it, we can enable essentially paid promotional video or kind of a cameo-like experience. So that's what we're looking at. We are still considering doing something along the TikTok analog side of the world. It's a little tricky with licensing audio and stuff, but we are working on that kind of side of it. So that's where we're at there. Anything you want to add on that?
No, not really. I mean, I think you've hit all the points. I think as you were talking about, when do features come out and whatnot. Make no mistake, Voyeur is a fully functional production website that while we continue to add features is to actually help different markets, different creators. But at the end of the day, Voyeur is live, open, and anybody can join in with a crypto wallet. Anybody can actually post anything that they want to post. I was just looking at some of the comments on Discord from the previous days of, hey, everything has gone quiet on social and whatnot. There is a reason for that. So just stay tuned for that once we know that. Sometimes going quiet means like, what the heck is going on? Although I realize that it creates a little bit of paranoia of, are these guys live?
Yeah.
Is everything okay?
And I will share, we obviously have an extended team that works with us. Brandon and Mata, people have met Rob and others. We are making some staff augmentation changes. Not that people aren't doing their job. There's some people that work with us that have never been paid because they've done this all out of the passion of their hearts, and being able to support their family and have the proper work-life balance is key to some people. So we are going to have a few staff members that are going to step back and focus, on what's more important. I'm not saying more important to them, but the things that have to be important to them. And So we're going to let them do that and still support them through it. So if you don't see everybody you used to see, especially on the AMAs, it's not that they've left Voyeur. Anybody who's been here since the beginning and put sweat equity in, blood, sweat, and tears, as far as I'm concerned, they're part of the company from now to the end of time. We're a family. But we have to obviously look to the future and forward. One of the things that these rounds of investment give us is the ability to hire in, bring in more contractual professional staff in certain areas. One of those is going to be marketing. We're very transparent about that. We are going to put some gasoline on things, and we've been waiting to do it until the video piece is live. But as soon as that's done, we're going to go full bore, and we're also going to go at specific marketing towards niche, high profit revenue creators, right? So we obviously are going to go focus on that adult side a little bit more for now. Not that we're not embracing everybody, but there is an opportunity to go be a vacuum and suck up a lot of that landscape and real estate, and we're going to do that. So, a couple of questions that came in, and I just want to go back through and address them. And I appreciate Andre and the team who are asking these questions. But the first question was, have you ever thought about making a relaunching of the token, maybe to bring in more investment? So I'm going to be very transparent here. We have discussed many different ways to look at new funding revenues, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doing a new token is one of them. Relaunching the current token, we've done it once, and we probably won't do it again as Voyeur Me, right? If we're going to do anything, we'll probably bring in an investment class governance token and allow people to take a stake in that. And then based on their ownership of both in combination, then allow them to qualify themselves for essentially the board of governors that will eventually run Voyeur. I mean, our goal for Voyeur is not to own it and run it and monetize it as a commercial company. Yes, we started it as a commercial company. We are making some revenue off it as a commercial company. In the long run, we've succeeded if we disrupt this space and then have a platform that is truly decentralized, run by the community, for the community, and has no one person or one organization, that regulatory landscape can go after. Right? Section 230 is definitely going to change. I mean, if you've watched Congress's testimony this week, from people that were Facebook blowers, not Facebook whistleblowers. Yeah, there's a lot of momentum to change that right now. And while we would love to be, I don't want to say love to be the owners of Voyeur. We're proud to be the parents of Voyeur. We don't want to have it live at home forever, right? We want to get it out into the field, let it go to college, get smart, and then run itself, and have an endowment fund that goes along with it. And that's kind of a long-term goal. Our parent company, Voyager, which is the parent company that oversees Voyeur, along with many other companies, has a lot of different business lines, and it helps us with Voyeur. But at the same time, at some point, those business lines that we have on the other side of the table are going to consume so much of our time that Voyeur almost has to become self-sufficient. Right? So that's what we're looking at. And if we do that DAO governance token, then obviously that will be a way to look at it and from a realm. Until then, we are enabling, again, multi-currency on the platform. Multi-currency in terms of crypto, right? Not necessarily fiat, but we're going to give you the ability for you to use pretty much Ethereum, USDC, BUSD, BNB, plus Voyeur Me. And if we want to bring in some of these other larger products that may have projects that have a token that may be looking for utility, we can enable them if they're on the EVM smart contract. And that will be done through our taxation engine, which obviously is not going to be driven by our tokenomics, because if our token's not being used, that token's not in play. But we have a taxation model that allows us to still capture a portion of that revenue that we are owed, and then reflect a portion of that back into the token itself, so that token gets rewarded, it grows in LP, and everybody's happy, right? So the cost basis differential here is 10% for a non-Voyeur token being used in the commerce. It's still 6% if it's used in the commerce with the Voyeur token.
Do you think that people still understand? And I know that you explained it very well, right? I mean, obviously that we've done extensive research on, and it kind of goes to the question about, hey, the thinking of the relaunching, which I don't see it doing a relaunching of the Warrior Me token per se,
Oh
but
yeah,
but do you think that people understand what that taxation means in such a way that, and again, this is not financial advice,
yeah,
you do your own research, but if we look at the world of the mathematics of how crypto works, right? How does that taxation helps the Voyeur Me token in those investors that, whether they were early investors, whether they have been waiting for Voyeur to open, all that kind of stuff?
yeah. I walk people through it. So, if you go to a store today and you buy something for $100, and say you live in LA, you're going to pay about 10-11% tax on that, right? And it's just the sales tax plus the cost of wage living and all these other little things that go along with it. If you were in California, instead of buying that electronic device at Walmart, you bought it on, let's say, a marketplace at Voyeur, you'd be paying in crypto.
Hmm.
Um, and while it's crypto, we still have to pay taxes and things along those lines. We've just built taxes into the equation in different places. So for um, essentially wallet to wallet transfer, where the uh, like amount is not the desired amount, but received in the form that maybe they wanted Voyeur, but you're deciding to pay in BUSD. When you choose that option, if the creator has turned it on, you're going to get two different cost bases. If you pay in Voyeur, your Voyeur transactions is going to go through. We'll take the 6% fraction from the tokenomics and then pass that down. And how we pass it down is well documented, but it's essentially a 2% to LP, 1% to operations, 1% to charity. Um, and then from a platform that's always on, where you can't take a backup, maybe have a meeting at 2 o'clock in the morning, but you can have one at 5. You're gonna have different types of I'm losing my train of thought. You're gonna have different types of taxation. I guess that's where I was at. I just completely got lost off track.
It's all right.
Yeah, dude. I just this is why I need to sleep. Uh, um, so yeah, no. If I use a token and I go pay in BUSD, I'm going to pay a different tax, right? So Voyeur's got a 6% tax. BUSD is going to have a 10% tax. And that 10% tax is going to then be broken out in a way where, instead of LP going from 2%, it's going to be it's going to get 6%. Right? It's going to get its original 2, and it's going to get the 4 additional percent that's above and beyond the 6% that we taxed. And we're doing that because we obviously want to keep Voyeur Me as the most favored nation status token on a platform. And people are for you. And here's the thing. I mean, I know that that cost basis differential. I had people come up to me after last or 2 weeks ago and say, "Hey, look, that doesn't make sense. Why you would charge a different tax?"
Hmm.
And here's the reason we have to. Right, our tax is built into the tokenomics. It's built into the token. It's already done. To achieve that on a token we don't control, it's got to be value add, right? VAT added or sales tax added. Now, here's the nice thing about it. Buyers are already used to this because everybody around the world pays some form of sales tax or some form of VAT or some value add tax that just happens to be part of the commerce transaction, right? No different than what we're doing here. The difference is, instead of that going to a government who has to then spend your money, it's going to get used and put back into funds that actually help everybody or grow our investors' pockets, and that's a great upside. But that's how it works, and that's how we're going to do it. Um, I did see a question that came in asking, will we enable fiat to be able to be used? And the answer is kind of, right. We are putting in a gateway that will allow people to on ramp from fiat into crypto, but everything's still going to happen in crypto. The minute we start allowing direct fiat expansion traction on Voyeur, it's going to do two things to us. One, you will never be able to use fiat in a timely fashion in micro tipping, right? So if you're in a live and you want to tip, you can't keep tipping and tipping and tipping. There's that whole credit card processing transaction time and all that kind of stuff. It just would eat it up. Secondly, most credit card transactions carry anywhere between a 3 and 7% cost basis, right? So just like we're charging value added tax, they're charging value added tax on every one of those. Plus, like Stripe, for example, is 30 cents plus 3%, right? So up to a certain amount of transaction being done. And from a perspective of that, that's giving up, revenue that would have to come out of somebody's pocket, and we probably have to cost share between us and the creator, and then we're violating our promise of 100%. So we're really trying to keep it all in a way where everybody who's using the platform has a lot of choices on how to buy, but then they also have the assurance that they're going to get assets that are verified, attested to, and have them being paid in a simple, fast transactional form on the blockchain. So that's where that's at, right? I mean, we obviously would love to, expand on that as we get closer. We'll be demoing multi-currency things along those lines, and as we get there, we will show that. So
here's the other question that I see from Andre. What is the trading supply MC so that CMC will lithium Voyeur again? Really don't know this. I mean, and a lot of questions. A lot of people are asking. It's like, well, what? Coin market cap. I think, and we've learned a lot from that as well, right? It's like, is it a place to be? Is it not the place to be? I mean, I have my personal opinions, but I know that you know what our goal is. So go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, well, the trading supply is not necessarily its volume and market cap are what they look at, right? So the market cap has to be greater than 5 million, and trading supply needs to be trading volume needs to be over $100,000 a day consistently in volume. So we hit those two things, we will grow back into coin market cap. They did delist us because of the low action, the volume of the trading, and low action of or low price point of the market cap. So,
well, and I think what was also important to realize is the fact that Voyeur being a utility token that that is powering the social media exchange, as we were continuing to program Voyeur, right? We actually got in coin market cap before Voyeur was actually launched.
right.
So obviously now that Voyeur is in and we're seeing more people transact, to me is just a matter of time. So what I do now is I redirect people to CoinGecko or to Bog or to different places that you can see those things.
Honestly, I mean, we did pay to get in coin market cap the first time. We didn't go the organic route. And honestly, a lot of people who go the organic route never make it in either. So it's kind of a crapshoot. That said, we do have, I don't want to say complete assurances. We have a promise to relook at our account if we were able to achieve these bottom three kind of items, right? So again, got to get market cap up, got to get trading volume above 500,000, and then we also need to have expansion of commerce, right? So we have to have people growing into the token. So the expansion, when they look at it, they look at what's the historical daily number of people who've come into the token over the blockchain, right? And that number is easily find auditable. And for a while, we were flat. So that's why they kind of put 1, 2, and 3 together and dropped us.
I think one thing that we did also that is interesting is if you that are watching, whether it's watching this now or watching it after the show, create an account within Voyeur.me, go through the sign up process and whatnot. When you look at your profile, you're going to see the true value of Voyager.me, the token, because what we did is we were able to work with our development teams to create this Modalis API, which becomes an independent API that does not require, for example, CoinMarketCap to actually give you some pricing. So from there, there's multiple places to see what's going on in Voyager. Clearly, our intention is to get back into CoinMarket. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, and I understand people who use Trust Wallet, they see a static price that doesn't change and a price that's wrong. Unfortunately, that's the source of record that they happen to use is the pricing point from CoinMarketCap, because we had a price there and then we stopped being listed there. That's the price they locked in and has still hung on to. So it is fundamentally wrong. But that's about all I can say about it.
That's why it looks or creates a perception of being a dead token.
Can't say any more about that because then we're talking about the token and equity pricing, and I can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Not allowed. I saw a question come in about asking too many questions. There's no such thing as asking too many questions. Again, we believe in radical transparency. We've always been an open book where we can, and we really want to be able to help educate everybody. We appreciate your investment in our project. We are completely happy to answer all questions, comments, take criticism and feedback. I've always been that way. I will continue to be that way. I said on Discord the other day, I challenge anybody to find a project that's as transparent as us. I mean, we put warts and all out there. I mean, I'm very transparent. I mean, to the point where, someone asked where does a sell of a token profit go? And obviously it goes to expenses. And, I fully documented out exactly where we spent all the money. And if people were smart enough to add it all up, you'll see that, what we had to take out last month was way less than what we had to pay for last month. So, it's not like it's 100% always coming out of the token. We only tap operational fund, which is done by a token sale when we have to. And we've had to do it the last couple months. Now, one thing I can share about this funding round is the funding round will allow us to replenish every penny that we've taken out on our side. I'm not saying that there's not been other people who've sold off, and that's their right, free market economy, and we obviously can't make up or won't make up for that. But for what we've had to use, we've committed we're going to replenish that. We'll be able to do that. And so that'll happen, either the end of this month or the very early part of next month. And, obviously that'll have a substantial view of how the chart looks, or it'll change. That's about all I can say about it. But, people who understand it will understand that that's what's going to happen. Right?
I think that what's interesting is in this journey of launching Voyager.me for me, Dave, is that I don't think I really have seen a project that has so much full set of features in such a short amount of time in the I'm if I dare to say it, in the history of what's going on with crypto, right? When we first started, we knew that this was going to be a vision. Yes, there were things that we did early, airdrops and contests and different things that we did so to create that buzz, right? To ensure that the buzz was there. I think that ultimately what I see is that there's a lot of people in the crypto space that want to get that get rich quick type of dopamine effect of a token, and Voyager is not that at all.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, what's going to happen is those that favor the bull and go for the long. Once we start adding the people in the content that we're going to allow, you know what, man? I'm sorry if you sold it like you say it's a free economy, but I think it will be regrettable in my personal opinion. That's all I have to say.
And you technically can't. I mean, you can say your opinion, but you technically can't comment.
I know.
So
I know.
That said, I hope people, taking all the information they can, ask all the questions you want. Discord, if you don't ask them here, ask us on Discord. email social@voyeur.me. You can email me personally directly at me, dave@voyeur.me, and I'm happy to take them and answer them to what I can. And from a lot of people who understand this, they're still here with us, and for some aren't, and I understand that. I can't make everyone happy. As I said on Discord, all I can do is report the news of what we're doing for the business. You know, I have to make hard decisions. At the end of the day, the buck stops with me. I mean, I've had to make the decision to tap, the operations fund. It's not that I wanted to do it; we had to do it. And when I say had to do it, we had to do it. There are certain bills that just have to get paid on a certain time frame, and if you're not paying them on a certain time frame, you lose services, or things get shut off.
Hmm.
Um, you know, we've personally, and when I say we, I'm talking collectively, the Voyeur team, have put hundreds of thousands of dollars personally into Voyeur. You know, um, we all had to make a collective decision that when Voyeur went live, we really needed to sink or swim on its own. And so, hard decision, but if you look at the white paper we wrote when we started the company almost 9 months ago now, we really fully documented all this already. And we're doing exactly what we said we were going to do. We were going to fund marketing out of marketing fund. We're going to fund operations out of operation fund, and we are doing that. And that's where it's at. So I realize, again, not everybody's happy, and not everybody can be. And I understand that some people, are in a situation where they may need it to be in a different place. My job at the end of the day is to make Voyeur the best platform it can be, give it the most opportune time to succeed and achieve what it can, and you know, um, try to get it to go to college, right? And if we can, then we'll be in a great position. We'll do the DAO, and then the community will have to make those wonderful, great, hard decisions in a fashion that will probably be um, thought of and fleshed out as we go through DAO governance at period.
I agree.
The question that came in says, the project is very good, but needs a lot of marketing. 100% agree, right? Here's the one reason why I haven't put gasoline on marketing yet. I'm being completely transparent. We know that for some users, if the platform doesn't have a certain set of 1.0 core features, they will come hit us and leave, right? We had that happen. We spent money on launch marketing. They came in, they left pretty quick. We followed up with some of them and said, "Hey, look, I saw you joined. You're not come back." They would quickly tell us, "I love the concept, love the principle, love what you're doing, but if I can't go live, or I can't do this and I can't do that, it doesn't add any value to me." And we heard that over and over and over in a disproportionate amount of high impact on live video. So I made this, again, hard decision. I made the decision that we were not going to spend any more big marketing outside of the crypto expo that we went to.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is we weren't in a position to have it turned on. When we drop big marketing going forward, it'll be after everything is there. We've tested it. We know it's solid. We know we can scale, and we're ready for these users, because we want to bring them in, but we want to market to them in mass, and we are going to do that. So that's the only reason why we haven't done what we've done, right? The question about, can we share any more about the content creator that's our partner? Yeah, I mean, so I'm not going to share their name because I want to respect his privacy,
Hmm.
um, or their privacy. But essentially, they're a very large producer in the world of adult content. They own multiple adult studios, have multiple models that are under a contractual relationship with them. They also manage some OnlyFans models themselves, but are looking for expansion. And so we have the opportunity with our platform to be the new home for, or expansion home for, some of these models. We're also going to be the home for the virtual pages of the studios, and some of their content's going to get loaded there that can be seen through monetization. And then, as part of our partnership together, we are working on doing another expo that's 100% squarely aligned at the adult industry, and kind of the creators that you would want to see most likely on Voyeur if they were doing OnlyFans type of content or adult content and not safe for work content. And so we're going to go out and market to them, and that's what we're marching towards very soon here for early January. So hopefully that answers the question. But yes, the content creator is on the platform. They may actually self-disclose themselves, and if they do, then everything that we were talking about, we'll share more detail with names and stuff like that. But that's where we're at with them. And then your follow-on question that came in: any news on the not safe for work implementation? Yeah, that code base should be going in this week. We did test it and saw it last week. We were blown away by it. They seem to think it'd be 2 to 3 days of integration to push the code over. So depending if they started on Friday or started on Monday, start tomorrow, I should say, or later tonight for them. We're still looking probably at it by Friday. So
yeah, my goal is to reach out to them. So typically they're obviously, we're located in the Eastern Standard Zone. They're located in a different part of work. Our Sunday nights is the morning where they're drinking tea or coffee and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And that's how Dave and I operate. Right? We get up early in the morning we get up late at night to actually say, hey, these are the critical paths that are needed to check things. And then we continue to follow forward with it. So that is the goal.
Yep, it is. Absolutely.
Now, Dave, if you don't mind, I would like to share my screen on this because I think it's key, right? Not a lot of people know about, a lot of people know about where we have all of our documentation for Voyeur. It's docs.voyeur.me. That explains the tokenomics. That explains everything we've done. But I brought this to your attention just now because, quite frankly, this is on me. I have not updated the roadmap. But just looking at the roadmap of the things that we've done.
Yeah.
I mean, Q3, we sponsored the Miami Crypto Expo. Done. Launch early access version of Voyeur platform. That was in Q3.
Yeah.
Early access grant to fans and creators who pre-register.
Yeah.
That was that. So I can mark this off right there. MVP development of the NFT platform. That's something that we probably can talk a little bit about it. Where, I think that's
come full circle 3 times now.
Exactly. I think that we are in a different version now, and we know why we're doing it. So maybe we can talk a little bit about that. But I can tell you that if I look at Q4, I mean, look, general availability of the Voyeur platform, it's done.
Yep. And we obviously are publicly open with the marketplace, and we're going to be opening a new marketplace on top of this. So, yeah, I mean, and we actually have already made multiple charitable donations. So you're right. We got to check a lot of that stuff off. We've achieved a lot of it.
Yes. I mean, it's, and every time that we talk to different experts about what we've done in such a short amount of time,
right?
In such a short amount of resources, when it comes to resource of time, resource of, revenue, resource, it is outstanding what we've done. And like Dave mentioned, we have put our own skin in the game as well.
Yeah, substantially. I mean, I'm into Voyeur for Voyeur is now my child. I didn't have a child, but Voyeur is now my child because the college fund has gone to Voyeur.
I am like the godfather or godmother of Voyeur on the background, or the nephew, or the uncle.
Yeah, you're the rich uncle there that's helped them out. So, for sure. But that said, and we were happy to do it. I mean, I went over what I planned to do. I think everybody does that.
I think everybody did.
But you look at it and you're like, okay, it's this close and just a little bit more. At some point, you have to put a line in the sand. And again, and my line in the sand was when we hit GA, it had to start selling and servicing and surviving by itself, because That's the mission of the platform. That's the goal of the platform. And if it can't do that, then instead of going to college, it's going to flunk out, and we'll send it off to McDonald's for burgers or something. But that said, we're not there. And honestly, an enterprise product, an enterprise application, takes a while to ramp and get right. And version 1.0 is that pancake that you may throw away, and version 2 is the one you may want to put butter on, and version 3 is the one you want to put syrup on, and then you may eat it. We're in the same boat here, right? We're less than a year in. We not only built one platform, we built 2 platforms. We've built about 6 other outside project platforms, all on the same team. And it's not that, I'm trying to distract from, kind of where things are at. But that said, what we've accomplished is short of nothing but amazing, right? Especially on the budget we've done it on. I mean, I don't think people realize to build a social media platform for under $1 million and have it operationalized is amazing. Build an NFT marketplace on top of that 2 times over, and we're going for the third. Really kind of unheard of. And most people who we're competing with in this space, they're strictly an NFT marketplace, and that's it. There's no social exchange piece or anything like that. So to be able to have all this and what we've done is great. And honestly, when we built the business plan, I put nothing for revenue until next year. I knew we'd be in burn phase until then because there's operational overhead costs or keep the lights on costs, that you have to build enough traction to break even, and then you start moving beyond that. So that said, we are tracking a little better than what we had planned on, to paper, and we are very fortunate in that. And again, the fact that we're now moving to a native app and things along those lines, we're just going to keep pushing it. So,
yeah, so you can see on the screen, right? And I purposely am putting this on the screen. Is it is active. It is able to send tips. I'm able to log in, whether it's with, Wallet Connect, whether it's with MetaMask. I'm able to do all that kind of stuff. These are active individuals that are running into our platform. And obviously, at the same time, we have our hashtags, right? So hashtags are starting to populate. So if you're watching this and if you want to do something that is unique, that that you're going to be a first, guess what? Nothing stops you from doing it.
Yeah, and then click on memories real quick. I mean,
sure.
The fact that you can go out and mint an NFT at really pennies on the dollar, and then have a portable NFT that you can resell, auction off or track. I mean, it's literally, pretty amazing. Now we are in the process of revving memories into an entirely new platform. Now, while the current memories works great, we see an opportunity to evolve and leapfrog it. And so we are building out a version of memories that's still an NFT marketplace, but it also is an e-commerce engine, allows virtual storefronts with an aggregated marketplace, and you can pay in any token, and there we will allow you to do fiat as well. So you have the ability to have every single piece of it all in one place. And that's what we're going to do. So that's coming online in parallel to this. And at some point we will be making more announcements, but we're about a month off or less from launching that. We're going to get through the holidays here.
I agree. So, and it always boils down again to the same thing. It's easier said than done, my friend. I think you and I have been in many startups. Like you and I we have heard it from customers, right? When are you going to release the Fissure? Or how come you're not supporting a different, older operating system or older type of system or old? At the end of the day, we know what is needed from an audience perspective. For us to actually spend time in cycles on something that is not going to yield revenue for Voyeur and help the platform, it's a waste of time. Yeah, honestly.
Absolutely.
And we know that we know that we cannot please everybody in the world, but we are myopically focused on what our vision is.
We are. And that's well said. I'm always going to stay true to what we said we were going to do. If we deviate and we have to fail fast and pivot, we'll tell you why we're doing it, and where we're going. But if people get mad at me for doing what we said we were going to do,
Oh well.
oh well. I mean, I'll take those arrows. But again, at the end of the day, I get paid nothing to make hard decisions here right now. But my due diligence to our investors, to our token holders, to our platform users, our creators, our ambassadors, our fans, is to give them the best operational platform we can with the resources we have. And sometimes making the hard decisions to tap those resources are going to happen, and they're going to hit me. And again, I am, I'm not numb to the fact that people look at it and it impacts them in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
But I was very upfront when we started this company, and we went out to the market and even told people, "Hey, look, this is what we're doing. Why we're raising, capital. Why we're going to offer a token. That it's a long-term play." And I tried to do that upfront so much because I've been in crypto a long time. I wanted people who were coming for the quick hit or the dopamine effect, is really to say, but they want that token that's going to go quickly 50x and flip it and dump it, to really think twice or not get in it, because we've never planned this to be fast. We've planned it to be long-term sustainable, but not fast. That said, people who like upside rewards, I think, are going to be well received and happy in the long run. I can't say more than that, because then again, I'd be talking about pricing.
It's your personal opinion.
Not even that. I just general comment. Because, I'm an officer of the company, and my opinion matters.
I also want to share this because I think that is important, right? I mean, these are all the AMAs and videos. They're all in our YouTube channel. They're all there.
You're not sharing anything. I know you got it up on your screen, but you're not sharing.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me see why it's not sharing. But I see why. There it is. You should be able to see it now. So everything that we've done from a voyeur perspective, everything is in this channel. So you're welcome to actually walk through all these. You're welcome to see them. And what you're going to find is a pattern of radically transparent individuals that share same values, same mission, and nothing has changed from that.
Yeah. And then, Andre, I agree with you. Not safe for work content is going to bring a certain class of people who are willing to pay because they want to see that kind of content. So we'll see that happen for sure. And I'd say stay tuned this week. I mean, we're going to be loading some content in this week. It's in that line. We'll be able to start watching the transactions and track record of that kind of content.
Well, I think if I understand it correctly, we're going to be launching it first in our QA version of
correct
of Voyeur, right?
Yeah, we're done pushing code directly to production. Stability is number one, right? If it takes us an extra week or two to make sure that it's bug proof and it's not going to cause a regression or rollback in code, which impacts essentially the day creator and fan experience, we're going to do that. So we're paying now for an entire another stack of our software bases, our software code for testing basis, and we're doing that there, obviously.
I think we're at a crossroad, right? And that crossroad is I believe in the adult creator. I do. And because of the things that are happening in the industry.
Yeah.
Take, for example, what's happening to Pornhub or to OnlyFans, where you're having rightly so, right? I'm not against it, right? There's different organizations persuading financial institutions, banks, credit cards, to ensure that people are protected, right? Child are protected for being exploited in any type of these platforms, right? So obviously these websites have to comply with banks to ensure that whether it's different regulations, whether it's ensuring that before the content is loaded, that every actor or every person that is there is under 18, That's fantastic. The challenge is that that's taking a lot of resources for these organizations. So quite frankly, banks or credit cards should not dictate the morality of what I choose to see and not to see. And I think that's what it's important about Voyeur is that we are putting the safeguards. We're going to have the not safe for work. We have already the verification. You have to be 18 plus. We have the ability to actually track that information and send it into multiple databases to ensure that people are not exploited. We're doing more than other organizations out there because we have families ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But I should never dictate a credit card organization or a bank to say what can I watch or what can I not watch.
Yep.
And that's going to be a huge catalyst for the adult entertainer to be in this platform.
Yeah, 100% agree. Well, folks, we're at the top of the hour, and I wanted to honor the time commitment I asked from my team on a Sunday, and so I want to thank everybody for tuning in. If you had a question, you didn't get a chance to ask it in the Discord server. Yes, we have Telegram as well. We have the linking, I think, done now so that you can post in Telegram and have it show up in Discord. But I live on Discord now. Or
I'm actually going to be working this afternoon and putting the link for Instagram. So I will be adding that to ensure that this show goes on Instagram. Granted, I gotta test it, gotta make sure that it looks vertically good and all that kind of stuff. But that's one of the things that I'm going to be
care less about Instagram personally. They're competitive.
Just want to put something else.
I understand.
But I get you.
Yeah, but that said, if you have questions, ask it there, or feel free to email us directly. social@voyeur.me. You can hit me, Dave@voyeur.me, Enrique@voyeur.me, and our team is standing by. So again, hit us up if you have questions you didn't get a chance to ask or you didn't want to ask in the public forum, and we'll address them. We're back here every Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern time. And wherever you're coming in from the world, we appreciate you tuning in. And if you caught this on rebroadcast, thanks for tuning in there too. So until next week, we'll be on Voyeur and we'll be on Discord. And if you need us, ping us, and we will keep everybody up to date. And again, I will share as much information as we can as interesting things close, and I can share more. That's where I'll leave it. So, folks, have a great day, and we will talk to you next week.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.